Welcome back to Yarn. I'm Teacher Nina, and today on Yarn, we'll hear the conclusion to our Nepalese folktale called Bundar Bahadur Poon. If you haven't heard part 1 of the story yet, don't listen to this one any further unless you want to spoil the story. Listen to part 1 first, then come back and listen to this one. Now, for those of you who's finished part 1, we ended last episode right when the monster found the 7 uncles and Bundar hiding in the oak tree. Bundar had tricked the monster into eating her own daughters instead of the 7 uncles as she had originally intended. Let's see if she gets her way with them. Bundar Bahadur Poon, Part 2.
Ah!
She screamed.
I have found you already. Now I will make you pay for your evil trick.
She lunged at the tree and started to chop it down. Huge chips flew everywhere. With each blow of her big knife, the uncles were almost thrown from their perch. Suddenly, without warning, the weight of the 7 men broke the tree and it fell with a great crash to the ground. The surprised monster, who had not been able to jump out of the way, was killed instantly. The uncles cried aloud in their joy. They climbed out of the tree and ran as fast as they could back to the monster's house. There, they loaded themselves with presents for their wives, all the silver jewelry and fine clothes that had belonged to the wicked monster and her 7 daughters. Bundar, who took only an old drum, danced and sang at the head of the procession all the way home. The 7 aunts were delighted with their gifts, but Bundar's mother was very disappointed. "See, Bundar Bahadur Poon, what my brothers have brought their wives," she said sadly. "And you have brought me only an old drum." "Don't be unhappy with me, Amma," replied Bundar. "Hand me that basket." "What have you brought that can be put in this basket?" she asked in pique. "You will see," said Bundar patiently. He gave the drum a blow on the head with his knife, and to the mother's amazement, golden coins spilled out all over the floor. "Oh, Bundar!" cried the mother, hugging her son with joy. "What should we do with all this money?" "Tomorrow, I will go with my uncles to the market to buy rice. Would you like to eat rice the rest of your life, Amma, instead of corn?" "Oh, yes, good son. Let us plant lots of rice," answered the mother. "I'm so tired of corn." The next morning, when Bundar's uncles were ready to go to the market to buy rice, Bundar said he wanted to go with them. But they had forgotten that he had saved them from being eaten by a wicked monster. All they remembered was the nuisance he made of himself when they wanted some green mangoes. "Oh no," the eldest uncle replied. "You might tell the shopkeeper we have lots of jewels. Then he would charge us more money for the rice. Go away. Go and play with your drum." Bundar went back into the house, pretending to do as he was told. But when his uncles were out of sight, he followed them to the market. After they had purchased the rice seeds and started home, he went into the same shop. But instead of buying rice, he bought a handful of gourd seeds. When his mother saw what he had done, she let out a sob. "Oh, Bundar," she moaned. "Just when I think you are being very clever, you do something very stupid. Now, when your uncles and aunts are eating rice, what will we be eating? We cannot eat gourds." Don't worry, Amma, said Bundar reassuringly. We will have rice to eat also. Just be patient. The day before the uncle's rice was to be harvested, Bundar went to the rice fields and caught a big rat. Rat, Bundar announced, holding him at arm's length. I'm going to kill you. Oh, please do not kill me, pleaded the rat. I will do anything you wish. Very well. I will give you a chance to save your life. If you will harvest all my uncle's rice and store it in my gourds by tomorrow morning, I will not kill you. Of course! That is easy, answered the rat. Let me go and I will show you how fast it can be done. Bundar opened his hands and the grateful rat leaped down and disappeared into the rice paddy. That night, he called all of his relatives together and told them what they had to do to save his life. The next morning, every grain of rice from the uncle's fields was harvested and stored in Bundar's gourds. When Bundar showed his mother the gourds, she stared in disbelief. Her son had not plowed. He had not planted. He had even been spared the tedious job of harvesting the crop. All he had done to fill their storage bins with rice as to sprinkle a few gourd seeds on the stony ground. She never dreamt her son could be so clever. As for the uncles, they had learned their lesson well. Never again did they go anywhere without their nephew, Bundar Bahadur Poon. And Bundar's mother never again complained of having a mischievous monkey for a son. The end. That Bundar sure was clever, wasn't he? I hoped you enjoyed the story as much as I enjoyed reading it for you. The moral of our story today is to not underestimate people. You never know what other people are capable of. Just like Bundar Bahadur Poon, his uncles never thought that he would be capable of being so smart and clever. In the end, it was him who ended up with all the rice. So, don't forget, never judge a book by its cover. Well, Yarnsters, that's it for today. Don't forget to visit my website, YarnStoryFactory.com. Thank you for listening. Join me again next time on Yarn for another great story from around the world. This is Teacher Nina speaking. Goodbye.